You ever look into your dog's eyes when you're eating and feel that tug at your heart? That little face, those pleading eyes, the gentle nudge of their nose against your hand. Like they're saying, just one bite, please? And sometimes it's hard to say no. But what if that one bite, that one innocent treat, was the very thing that could send them to the emergency room? What if something you gave them with love could actually break their little body from the inside out? Because today, we're talking about 12 foods you should never feed your dog, no matter how much they beg. And these foods, most people don't even know they're dangerous. Let's begin with one that's hiding in plain sight. One, mushrooms. Not the kind you buy at the store, but the ones that grow wild in your backyard, along the trail, or near your favorite park bench. You see, many wild mushrooms are toxic to dogs. Some can even cause liver failure or death within hours. And dogs, curious as they are, will sniff, chew, and swallow without hesitation. It happened to a woman named Kelly in Oregon. Her golden retriever, Max, gobbled something up on a walk. By the time she got home, he was vomiting and barely standing. The culprit? A single wild mushroom. They made it to the vet just in time. But many aren't that lucky. So please, if your dog goes off-leash or you live near wild areas, keep a sharp eye out. Even one bad mushroom can be fatal. 2, nutmeg. You probably don't think twice when you're baking cookies or sprinkling it over your holiday latte. But nutmeg contains a compound called myristicin, and it's highly toxic to dogs. Even a small amount can cause tremors, hallucinations, high blood pressure, or even seizures. Imagine giving your pup a bite of a spice cookie, just trying to share a cozy moment. But an hour later, they're pacing, shaking, eyes darting, confused and afraid. Nutmeg isn't just a holiday spice. To dogs, it's a hidden danger. 3, avocado. Yes, that creamy green fruit we all love on toast. But did you know that avocados contain a toxin called persin? In dogs, it can lead to vomiting, diarrhea, and difficulty breathing. The skin and pit are even worse. And that pit? It's a choking hazard. One unlucky gulp, and it could block their airway, or worse, lodge in their intestines, requiring emergency surgery. Avocados might be trendy, but for your dog, they're a silent threat. 4, cooked bones. You think bones are safe, right? That's what cartoons taught us. That's what generations believed. But once bones are cooked, they become brittle. They can splinter sharply and tear through your dog's throat, stomach, or intestines like broken glass. I've seen stories of dogs just happily chewing after dinner, and by morning, they're at the vet with internal bleeding. Give them raw bones only if your vet approves. But never, never cooked ones. 5, raw yeast dough. It might seem cute when your dog steals a nibble from your kitchen counter, but raw yeast dough can expand in their stomach, just like it does in an oven. That expansion causes dangerous bloating, intense pain, and pressure on internal organs. Even worse, the fermenting yeast releases alcohol. So now your dog isn't just bloated, they're being poisoned too. One sweet grandma in Kansas once made bread with her grandson. The dog licked the bowl while no one was looking. He didn't make it through the night. 6, macaroni and cheese. It's comfort food. Warm, cheesy, creamy. And when your dog smells it, their tail goes wild. But mac and cheese is a triple threat. High-fat dairy, salt, and loads of processed carbs. The cheese alone can trigger digestive issues, especially in lactose-intolerant dogs. The salt can throw off their electrolyte balance. And the fat? That could send them into a spiral of vomiting, diarrhea, and even pancreatitis. It might feel like you're sharing joy, but to their bodies, it's chaos. One woman in Texas said she used to let her beagle lick the plate after dinner. Until one night, it ended in a vet bill over $3,000. Her words? I thought I was giving love. I didn't know I was giving harm. 7, energy drinks. You wouldn't give this to your dog, but accidents happen. Maybe you leave your kid on a coffee table. Maybe it spills. Dogs aren't picky. If it smells sweet or fizzy, they'll lap it up. But caffeine? It's toxic to dogs, especially in high doses like what's found in energy drinks. It can trigger rapid heartbeats, seizures, and in some cases, cardiac arrest. A 7-month-old husky once licked up just 2 ounces from a tip can. The tremors started in under an hour. By the time the owner rushed to the ER, His heart was racing out of control. He made it, but barely. Please, treat caffeine like poison when it comes to dogs. Because to them, it is. 8. Rhubarb. It looks like red celery and often ends up in pies, jams, or garden beds. But rhubarb leaves are highly toxic to dogs, and even the stalks can be risky. They contain oxalates, which can cause drooling, tremors, kidney failure, and in severe cases, death. What's worse, rhubarb grows in many backyards, and dogs love to explore. There's a heartbreaking story of a rescue dog named Luna who chewed on garden rhubarb while her owner watered the plants. By nightfall, Luna was lethargic. By morning, her kidneys were failing. If you grow rhubarb, fence it off. Keep it away like you would any chemical, because that's how dangerous it can be. 9. Pétés de fruits. Peaches, plums, apricots, they seem harmless, even healthy. But those pits? They're not just choking hazards. They're loaded with cyanide. Yes, cyanide. If your dog chews or breaks the pit, they risk being poisoned. Even worse, large pits can block the intestines, requiring emergency surgery. One golden doodle swallowed a whole peach pit in the summer heat. He went from playing fetch to emergency surgery in less than 24 hours. It wasn't a peach. It was the pit. So always remove pits. Or better yet, skip these fruits entirely. 10. Fat trimmings and skin. You finish carving dinner, and your dog's sitting there, hopeful, tail wagging. So you toss them a piece of skin, or a little fatty edge. But here's the thing. Fat trimmings, especially from beef or pork, are loaded with grease and salt. They can cause pancreatitis, a condition that inflames the pancreas and leads to intense pain, vomiting, and even organ damage. You may think it's a reward, but their digestive system isn't built for rich, greasy scraps. A dog named Bruno used to get leftover bacon fat from his owner every Sunday. It became a routine until one Sunday, Bruno didn't eat. Then he didn't move. By Monday, he couldn't stand. He survived, but just barely. That little treat almost took him away. 11. Sugar-free baked goods. You already know about xylitol, but sugar-free muffins, cookies, even gum or protein bars often contain hidden sugar substitutes, like erythritol, sorbitol, or other alcohol-based sweeteners. Some of these aren't toxic to humans, but can be lethal to dogs. A well-meaning neighbor once dropped off sugar-free banana muffins. The family's dachshund swiped one off the coffee table when no one was looking. Within hours, she was seizing. These sweeteners are everywhere, so always check labels. And if it's sugar-free, assume it's off-limits. 12. Canned tuna, packed in oil or seasoned. It sounds healthy, right? Tuna is fish. Fish is protein. Dogs love the smell. What'd go wrong? But here's the truth. Canned tuna, especially the kind packed in oil or with seasoning, can be dangerous. It's loaded with salt and sometimes garlic or onion powder, silent killers in small doses. Not to mention the high levels of mercury in tuna, which can accumulate over time and lead to mercury poisoning. There was a boy named Jamie. He was just 10, and he loved feeding his dog, Milo, from the pantry. Every time his parents weren't looking, he'd sneak a spoon of tuna into Milo's bowl. Milo loved it. Wagging tail, happy licks. But slowly things changed. Milo started having tremors. He wouldn't eat some days. He looked tired, confused, like something inside him was fading. By the time they figured it out, the damage was done. Mercury had built up in Milo's system. The vet said it was chronic, irreversible. Jamie cried for days, blaming himself. You see, it wasn't just the tuna. It was the oil, the salt, the hidden seasonings. So if you want to give your dog fish, go for plain, cooked, dog-safe types like salmon, without skin or bones. But that can of tuna, the one with flavor, oil, and a smiling label, leave it for the humans. So now you know, 12 more foods your dog should never eat. 12 more ways we can protect the ones who give us everything. Their trust, their love, their lives. We don't give food out of cruelty. We do it because we love them. But real love means making the hard choice. To say no, even when they beg, even when they look at you with those eyes. Because sometimes the kindest thing you can do is protect them from what they don't understand. If this video helped you, please share it with someone who loves their dog like family. Drop a comment below if you've ever had a food scare with your pup. We're in this together. And give her dog an extra belly rub from me today. Thanks for watching. And thank you for loving your dog enough to learn.